for today's video, I'm going to actually switch out of nurse mode and switch into mom mode. I'm going to be making baby foods for my newborn daughter. She's actually going to be 4 months old in a week, and she's going to start actually on solids. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, it's best to start your baby on solids between 4 and 6 months, and my daughter will be 4 months. So let me quickly switch out of this and into mom mode, and I'll be right back to show you what I'm going to do. Because my daughter's 4 months, will be 4 months, we're going to start with single food solids, purees. I know there's a lot of controversy right now of whether to start your baby on purees or spoon feed or do baby-led weaning. But for me and my family, I'm going to do a combination, and it's going to start with purees and integrate in some finger foods and do the baby-led weaning as a supplement. So some things to look for to determine whether or not your kid is ready for solid foods are just, like I said, the recommended age is between 4 and 6 months. But you also want to gauge, are they a supported sitter? Can they sit up assisted, maybe a 5-point harness or high chair, and then they can kind of open their mouth and they look engaged in eating and watching other people eat. They also are able to minimize their tongue thrust reflex, which means they're not pushing the food forward as much with their tongue. And all of these things should happen within that 4 to 6 month age range. So for today, I'm not going to do so much talking about the mechanics of the eating and which method to use. I'm really just focusing on cooking the foods. But I will be putting another video where I talk about each method of feeding, the best time frames, and how to know if your baby is ready to start solids. Now, obviously, so for what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a few different things. I have a combination of fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, and then I do have some frozen. Either one works well. You could do fresh or frozen. It just depends on your time, your comfort level in the kitchen, and what you have available. So, okay, I'm just going to show you guys a few other things around my kitchen before I get started cooking. Some things that may be helpful for you, that are helpful for me, and I'm going to kind of point them out. And I'll also link them in the description below. If you like any of the things that I'm going to use, you can also purchase. The first thing right here is a steamboat. I actually found this by accident in IKEA. I actually thought it was a strainer, and then I saw a different video where I learned that it was actually a steamer. So you can actually sit this into the pot and put the fruit, vegetables, or whatever you want to steam inside, and it helps it to not touch the water in the pot. So I thought that was really cool, and my older daughter actually tried it out today with some steamed dumplings, and it does really work. So I will link the description to this below because it's very helpful when making baby food. Some other things in my kitchen that may or may not be helpful. I have here a water drop pitcher. I don't necessarily use this for cooking, but I do purify my baby's water when I mix formula. I breastfed for the first 3 months, and then I switched my baby to formula due to my work schedule and my lifestyle. So I did take this pitcher into consideration because I was just a little nervous about if there was minerals or anything in our water at home. Not that you can't. Most United States drinking water is safe to drink for babies, but I just wanted a little extra protection, so I went and bought this. It actually works really well. You can do up to 200 gallons or every 3 months to change the filter, and it just actually works really well. So sometimes when I'm making the baby food, if it's too thick, the purees, I'll add a little bit of water, so that's the only reason why I was showing you this. But if you like it, it works really well. It's really good for filtering your baby's water, and I will link this below as well. A few other things before we get started. One, like I told you, I breastfed my baby and I was pumping breast milk for the first 3 months. So I have extra breast milk storage bags. And one of my favorite things to do is not waste money. So whenever you have things, I like to find secondary uses. I'm no longer breastfeeding, so I don't need them for that. But this is a good way to store your purees and put them in the freezer. So I'm going to be taking this, putting the purees in these bags, and then storing it in the freezer. So I had a Medela pump. You can use whatever bags you have. If you have leftover bags, or if you're continuing to breastfeed, you can also use those bags. And then store exactly how many ounces of puree your baby's going to eat and put them in the freezer. So that's my plan for this. This is what it looks like in the box, and I will be linking that below as well. Okay, really quick, 2 more things. At the same time as I'm going to be starting my baby on solid foods, I'm also incorporating some of this baby cereal. They have oatmeal and rice, Recommended to start on rice first. It's a little easier to digest. And then the next thing I have is one last thing, is my favorite cleaner when I'm cooking. It's the Better Life All-Purpose Cleaner. It's a plant-based cleaner so that you can wipe the counter or your baby surfaces, high chairs, all those kind of things. And it's safe for them. If the food falls or anything, there's no harsh chemicals and no harsh ingredients that will make your baby sick. All right, so let's get started. I'm gonna go through the things that I have here on the counter. I have carrots. I peeled and washed my carrots. I have sweet potatoes, which are also peeled and washed. I have mango. These are peeled, but this is what my mangoes look like unpeeled. I have peaches that I'm going to add. We're gonna make some peach puree. I have apples. We're gonna make some fresh applesauce. And then I'm going to also do some vegetables. Like I said, I have fresh and frozen. One of my frozens is some peas, which I'm gonna steam and make a puree. And I have a blend of peas and carrots. Now, some people say when you mix the foods together, it's gonna be more of a stage 2 food instead of a stage 1. But there's new evidence saying that mixing different vegetables and things together is not bad for baby, as long as it's not the high allergen. And then I have some fresh organic green beans that will be steaming. Avocado. Oh, avocado going wild. Okay, here's my avocados. I have a few of those. I have some fresh blueberries, fresh apricot, and then I have fresh broccoli. And then I do have spinach and kale. Spinach and kale, I use both of these on their own or as supplements. It's a great way to add nutrients. It's just to throw a few spinach leaves into another puree. You can do spinach and applesauce, spinach and peaches, spinach and green beans, spinach and carrots, and kale as well. Kale is actually the #1 most nutrient vegetable, and spinach is actually #3. If you care to know, collard greens is #2. I'm gonna start cutting these up, but first I'm gonna turn on my water over here so that can be heating up while we're waiting. And then I'm gonna cut up these carrots into medium-sized pieces. I'm actually gonna go grab my baby because she's making a lot of noise in the background. I'll let you guys see her really quick if you like. This is my almost 4-month-old Araya, and this video is just for you, babe. We're making you some baby food. Are you excited? Don't look so camera shy. Are you excited? You are making all that noise in the back. So, like I said, I pre-peeled and washed my carrots. So now I am just going to cut them up. There's no real rhyme or reason. You just kind of want to get them into even pieces, medium size, to throw into the steamer. So I threw them into like medium-sized chunks. All right, now I cut up my carrots. I'm gonna go over here and throw them into my steamer. I just set that little steamer that we talked about into the pot, and I'm gonna stick the carrots in here to steam. I'm gonna throw the lid on, and we're gonna go ahead and let that steam up. And then in my other pot, I'm gonna go ahead and take my peas that are frozen, because since they're already kind of cooked when they're frozen, they kind of flash steam them before they freeze them. I'm gonna go ahead and just pour those directly into the water and let that also steam up. Now while those two things are steaming, I'm gonna prep some more vegetables, and I'm also gonna go over here and I'm gonna grab my Magic Bullet blender. Now while we have the things steaming in the pot, I'm going to cut up our sweet potatoes, and we are going to roast those in the oven. So we're going to cut them into about, cube-sized pieces so that they can evenly roast. I'm going to throw them on a sheet pan. We have some smaller ones that are just maybe one cut. We don't have to necessarily cut them too small. There's no real method, as long as they're just kind of evenly cut so that they all cook around the same amount of time. Now I'm gonna throw these all on my roasting pan. I'm gonna slide my cutting board out of the way real quick and bring this forward. One thing that I like to do that just helps with a little bit more flavor while they're roasting, and it adds a little bit of good fat to your baby's food. I'm gonna add a little olive oil to drizzle on the sweet potatoes. A quick toss. Throw those into the oven at 350, and I'm gonna let those cook for about 35. Now, this is a fruit that I don't know if a lot of people give babies. I guess it's cultural too. It depends what culture you're in and what fruits and vegetables you eat as an adult. But this is one that my kids kind of love and I love, and it is mango. My 3-year-old actually really loves mango. She's a little unique for a 3-year-old. She likes all kinds of unique things. She really enjoys ginger, which most 3-year-olds don't. And she really enjoys mango. She likes apricot jam. So she's a little bit different, I would probably say. But it's good. She's not a picky eater. She eats a lot of everything. So I just like to chunk this mango. There's a pit in the middle of mango. So you kind of just slice around the pit and get as much of the mango off as you can. When your baby's in that 4 to 6 month range, it's recommended that most of your baby's nutrients still comes from breast milk or formula. So you don't need to have too many foods, but my goal for this is to be about 30 days worth of meals. So then I don't have to prep. I can just grab a bag out of the freezer, throw it in the warmer, and good to go. About the 6 month age also, your baby's iron and zinc stores start to deplete. So that's a good time to make sure, at least at the 6 month mark, that you're adding in other foods to kind of help replenish those stores. And like I said, if you guys really want a more in-depth video on the foods, why they're important, when to start, the different feeding methods, I'm gonna have another video on that coming up. If it's done before I post this one, I will link it below. If not, just keep checking back. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe button so you'll know when I post it. So now we have the mango prepared here into nice cubes. And I'm gonna run back over here to my stove and I'm gonna check on the peas and the carrots that we have steaming up. Another thing that I like to do is a lot of times when you're steaming the vegetables, some of the nutrients get lost in the liquid. So one thing that I like to do is save the liquid so that once you're blending, if your puree is too thick, you can also add some of the liquid back from the pot along with your formula or breast milk or water that you're using to thin out the liquid. The mix. We have some apple here and I'm just gonna go ahead and cut the apple up while we're waiting for our other purees. The good thing to do while you're doing this is, like I said, just always keep working. Once you do it once, you'll be able to find like a systematic method that really works for you as to how often you need to meal prep, because this is basically a baby meal prep. Okay, so I have my peas here that are done blending, and I'm gonna scoop them into this blender here. Let me move my other tray out of the way. And we're gonna scoop the now peas out and into the bullet cup. And my baby's first food to blend will be peas. Hopefully she likes peas. So here we're gonna add just a little bit of water to this. Just enough to fill the bottom. And I'm gonna put the lid on. And we are going to blend. The NutriBullet works really, really well to blend the foods up quickly, and not a lot of extra effort is needed. So then once we blend it, it's still kind of warm. And I'm gonna show you guys with a little spoon here about the consistency that I have. It's kind of like spoon thick, which is perfect for what I'm doing. I'm gonna pour this into a bowl and let it cool, and then I'll scoop it into the storage bags. And my baby has peas. I'm so excited. I know introducing your baby to solids is one of the most exciting things in their development. Prepare our green beans. These are fresh organic green beans. I do a lot of my produce shopping at Trader Joe's, but there is really no rule. You can shop wherever, however you like. And we have our green beans going in another pot. We have our broccoli, mango, and apple preps. And so far so good. We're doing really, really well. We're making good time. We're staying relatively organized over here. So by the end of this, like I said, I'll have apple, mango, blueberry, peas, carrots, green beans, apricots, spinach, and kale. I also bought a bunch of bananas, which are going to be used just as they are. I'm not going to steam or do anything with these bananas. Probably when it's time to feed, I'm going to open up one and maybe mash it into her other food or just blend it and give her bananas by themselves. I also have avocado, which doesn't necessarily require any mixing or anything like that, or any cooking, I should say. So these are just going to be cut up really quick and blended into the blender and put in a bag for later use. Let's see if I can find it. I have a really cool tool that my daughter bought me for a Christmas gift, my older daughter. Here it is. It's called an avocado cutter. This is really cool. I'm actually going to link this below as well because I think this is the funniest thing ever. I really love avocados and avocado toast, so my daughter thought it was a good idea to get me an avocado cutter for a Christmas gift. So what you do, there's this running joke, I guess, on the internet that you could get avocado hand when you're cutting an avocado and you accidentally cut your hand. And I thought it was funny until it happened to me. And then I had avocado hand when I cut my hand from the avocado. So now this tool helps keep me safe. You can't cut yourself. It works really well to slice around the avocado this way, like that. And then you easily separate it from the peel. And then it has a little tool in the middle here that will connect onto the pit and take the pit out without any problems, and no avocado hand. So I think this is really fun and really cute, and it was a really nice gesture of her. So then you take this end of the avocado tool and you just scoop out the flesh of the avocado. And it all comes out nice and clean, one piece. It's amazing. And I can throw it right into my bullet. And then one more scoop of avocado into my bowl. This is the best gift ever. And like I said, no avocado hand. It sounds funny, but I thought it was funny too until it actually happened to me. When you're taking out the pit and you hit it with a knife that you always see on all these other videos, and then the knife slips and you have avocado hand. And I actually had a really bad cut in my hand, so this avocado tool was funny, but really helpful. So I'm gonna add that in there. Now, if anyone eats avocados often, you do know that avocados have a tendency to brown. And that's due to the oxidation with the oxygen hitting the vegetable, fruit, whatever an avocado is. And I'm gonna add a little bit of lemon juice to the avocado mix just to prevent that. And then we're gonna throw the avocado onto the bullet blender. We have avocado. I'm going to take this off so you guys can see. It's like perfect baby food consistency. Alright, I'm just going to take a quick break so I can go get my baby because she's crying, and then I'll be right back. So now you guys pretty much seen the process of how I cut, steam, and blend. I'm going to go ahead and finish up all these foods, and then I'll catch back up with you guys at the end and show you how I put them all together, make a couple combinations, and bag the storage bags. Okay, so one thing that I am going to do to add a little bit more nutrients to some of these purees, I'm going to take like a little bit of the carrot here, and then I'm going to add in a bunch of spinach leaves, because this will just make it a little bit more nutrient and give this spinach and the carrot a blended up flavor together. Sometimes you have a harder time blending, so then I'm just going to add a little bit of water, or you can add a little bit of your baby's formula, which I think I might do instead of the water. So you're going to add either formula or breast milk or water, but I've been adding water, so I'm just going to do this one with a little bit of formula. Like I said, my baby was breastfed for the first 3 months, and I've just transitioned to formula. So that allowed us to have a little bit more nutrient-dense puree. I'm going to scrape the sides, get it all good in there, and then I'm just going to give it one more blend. You blend until and add milk, formula, or water until your desired consistency. Okay, stop it. Stop it. Listen. Okay, so now I've finally finished all of my purees. They're all here. We have peaches, pears, apricots, avocado, peas, blueberries, carrots and peas, mango, sweet potato, spinach, and my final was some unseasoned white meat chicken. And that's pureed in here, and that is it. Now what we're going to do is bag them all into our storage bags that I showed you. I was going to use leftover breast milk storage bags, and then for a few things I'm going to make single flavors, and then a few things I'm going to make meals. So for example, for like my dinners, I'm going to use like maybe chicken, peas, carrots all in one, or chicken, peas, carrots, and rice, because we have the rice cereal here that we talked about here. And some of our breakfast combinations, I may use fruit and oatmeal. So we're going to make some combinations. I'm going to get a Sharpie. I'm going to label everything, and that'll be it. Now, once the food is all bagged up individually, these are the leftover breast milk storage bags that we had. We bagged up everything. I put them in categories of the similar food. So blueberries, the ones that had oatmeal so that I could use for breakfast. I had some broccoli, carrots, apricot, mango, avocado, all different vegetables, peas, carrots, spinach. And I was able to do about 90 meals, I think. So that would be 3 breakfasts. No, actually, yeah, I did 90 meals or 90 bags, which was 3 breakfasts, 3 lunch, and 3 dinners for a month.